All right, and welcome to Superkickin It with Steven. I'm your host, Steven A1181, ready to talk up all your WWE news. There we go. I'll get a better angle. There we go. All right, so this week we're going to just stick to WWE, and as Revolution for AEW gets closer, we'll go ahead and talk more about that. And as the weeks get into that, they have already announced one match. Usually Revolution is at the end of February, and they've already announced that Darby Allin and Sting. Yep, that's right. Sting will face off a couple members of Team Taz in a street fight. So that's kind of one of the matches advertised there. But this week, wanted to do all WWE. And then next week, because I was a week ahead, will be our Royal Rumble prediction show. Just going to jump right into the Royal Rumble predictions next week and sprinkle in Raw and SmackDown and maybe some NXT talk. But next week, excited, Royal Rumble talk. This week, Monday Night Raw talk, NXT talk, and some SmackDown talk. So we'll get started right away with Monday Night Raw. So we had the Randy Orton opening up, addressing his burn wounds. He had a kind of a bandage look, luchador mask on, just, talking up. Really good promo. I'm just trying to think of what is going to happen next. We've already seen we've seen the Inferno match. We've seen Orton get burnt now. I guess we'll do a Firefly Funhouse match. Maybe we'll do Alexa Bliss Playground match, but I'm going to assume the Funhouse match is next. And I don't know if we'll wait till WrestleMania for that. Maybe just do that Mania or do it. Well, it's not going to happen at Rumble because it feels like that's way too soon. Or maybe do it next month at Elimination Chamber or, who knows. So, but, I'm just trying to think what's the next step for Randy Orton and The Fiend. I think The Fiend would be good to show up to maybe eliminate Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble. Just come out of nowhere, not being an entrant or anything like that. Just, show up of his latest incarnation and kind of have at it. So that's kind of where I see that going. Like I said, I think WrestleMania is going to be the Funhouse match for Randy Orton, for The Fiend, and whatever incarnation he is. So next up, we have Charlotte Flair defeating Peyton Royce. Lacey Evans came out there with Ric Flair, so we're still getting that aspect of it. I thought maybe Peyton would beat Charlotte, just kind of have Peyton and Lacey, maybe get another tag team title shot. But it looks like we're probably going to get Charlotte and Lacey one-on-one at some point. And, maybe Ric Flair helps Lacey eliminate Charlotte this weekend or next weekend at the Royal Rumble. But that's kind of the way it's going there. Next up, we had Mace from Retribution defeat Xavier Woods. Right now, Kofi Kingston's on the shelf. It does look like we're heading for Ali and Kofi Kingston. They're kind of playing up last year when Ali was heading for a push. Now, here's the thing. Randy Orton took him out with that, just hit his, took out. He did kind of a suplex type deal with Ali, and Ali just hit the corner of a table and his eye got hurt. And they put in Kofi Kingston. So really, shouldn't Ali have issue with Randy Orton? And whatever. But that's how I kind of look at it. I kind of wonder if Ali should have more issue with Randy Orton because technically Orton took him out. But Kofi Kingston technically did take his spot because that was supposed to be Ali. Win in the Elimination Chamber and head into WrestleMania to go against Daniel Bryan. I don't know if Ali would have beaten Daniel Bryan, but it would have been interesting if that would have happened. So Mace gets the win over Xavier Woods. So, Retribution looks like they're heading for Kofi Kingston next. And like I said, I'm going to assume Kofi and Ali at WrestleMania. That's kind of a good undercard match as far as that's concerned. Asuka stepped inside Alexa Bliss's playground. I thought it was really well played by Asuka, kind of, showing that she was concerned, she was worried about what was going on. Now, I think part of me would have liked Asuka to have been a little more of like an ass kicker and, not as scared of it because Asuka has that way about her. But then again, it probably helps Alexa Bliss more that Asuka played up the way she did. So I think I'm okay with the way that they, kind of booked Asuka to be leery of it and, kind of wondering, be weary of her surroundings and all that and just kind of, be uneasy about it. But, well done because eventually Asuka and Alexa Bliss would face each other later on in the night. Shayna Baszler defeated Mandy Rose. We're continuing the Shayna, Nia Jax kind of going at each other, but still a tag team. I'm going to assume they're both going to eliminate each other at Royal Rumble, and we'll get a one-on-one match for them as well. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, I think they could still have time to mesh as a tag team, and maybe find themselves in tag team title shot and down the road. AJ Styles defeated Ricochet. Ricochet is still there, although there was a report that Ricochet was going to leave in a month. Then there was a report Ricochet is going to leave in a day or week. So I assumed Ricochet was going to leave in an hour. Ricochet is going to leave in the next minute, but he's still there. And the report is he's signed for 2.5 more years. So sounds like Ricochet's not leaving anywhere. I don't know what they're doing with him right now, but all these reports about him leaving and all that, it just sounds like it is what it is. He's there. But AJ Styles picks with the win. AJ Styles, like I said before, is definitely my pick for like a Iron Man of the Royal Rumble, maybe the Final Four as it is. So maybe, almost helps him survive one fallout and, one elimination, and then he gets back in and whatnot. But AJ Styles definitely has looked good. And like I said, this next year for AJ Styles is, I think pulling over guys and just picking up wins here and there and just kind of, riding off into the sunset when he's done. The dirt sheet, John Morrison and The Miz welcomed Gillberg, so not Goldberg, which I kind of assumed we would get Gillberg. And then a phony, pretty much a fat ass, Drew McIntyre, who's actually was the elf from the Santa Claus back in the day, and also in 10 Things I Hate About You. Nick Krumholtz, I believe is his name. But if you watch Santa Claus and you remember the elf, or if you've seen 10 Things I Hate About You, he's the friend of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And he's definitely put on some weight, and was Drew McIntyre as it is. Really fun, well done segment. I enjoyed the dirt sheet. I enjoyed John Morrison. The Miz is making claims that he's going to cash in at Royal Rumble, which probably means he won't. Usually heels don't usually announce it, so I'm going to wait and see when Miz does cash it in. Maybe Elimination Chamber, maybe WrestleMania, kind of have that as a big moment. So we are getting the real Goldberg and the real Drew McIntyre face-to-face on Monday Night Raw this coming week. Drew's probably, out of quarantine and ready to go. So get Drew and Goldberg at Royal Rumble as well for the WWE title. Next up, we saw the Hurt Business defeat Matt Riddle and Lucha House Party. We're still getting some cracks in the foundation of the Hurt Business. I think it's way too soon for that to happen. Obviously, they're building up Cedric Alexander to be like I've compared it a few times to The Rock in Nation of Domination. I think that's a very good, kind of comparison. I don't know if Cedric has quite the charisma of The Rock, but it's like that situation. And like I said, I think it's way too soon for the Hurt Business. I think they got a lot. They still got a lot of road to travel. I would maybe break this up in the middle of the summer, honestly. Maybe Money in the Bank in the summer or something like that. I think that's a better time frame. Maybe even push out to SummerSlam. But we'll see where the Hurt Business, if they do end up, cracking apart sooner rather than later. Jeff Hardy defeated Jackson Ryker by disqualification. And we're still getting Jackson Ryker and Elias and Jeff Hardy. I don't know why Riddle is involved with this, because it's pretty much like a tag team. It's Ryker and Elias taking on Jeff Hardy by himself. So we already know that Jeff Hardy has a tag team partner in Matt Riddle, so why not? Then finally, the match of the night, the moment of the night, Alexa Bliss defeating Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Alexa was definitely acting, like herself in the beginning, and then just transformed when the lights go out and just a whole nother person. She's dodging everything, almost like the Fiend, where she's just impervious to all what's going on. And that was a really good moment for Alexa to have. So I'm pretty excited to see where this is going to go. I hadn't thought about Alexa Bliss winning the Royal Rumble for the women's side of things, but she's probably pushing herself up there, as a favorite right now. And then taking off Asuka at WrestleMania and probably taking off the title. So let's do a quick timeout before we get into some NXT talk. So we'll give you some Realty talk, and then we'll come right back with NXT and finish up with SmackDown.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering, if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Shawn Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Shawn at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSPORTS1.com sent you.
All right, so we'll get into some NXT talk. A lot of Dusty Rhodes Classic matches to talk about. All three are upsets in my mind, too. We had Leon Ruff and Kushida defeating Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory in the first round of the men's Dusty Rhodes Classic right there. Looks like Kushida is kind of being positioned to take that North American title off of Johnny Gargano. Maybe Gargano and Austin Theory kind of cost Leon Ruff and Kushida in the next round. But I was very surprised that Leon Ruff and Kushida defeated Gargano and Theory. You know, I thought you really could have built up Gargano and Theory as a tag team. And I think we'll still see that. And like I said, I think the next round, Gargano will cost Kushida and Ruff in their match. So we also had Lucha House Party defeated Imperium, which is pretty interesting to see. I believe we saw Alexander Wolf show back up. So 3 members of Imperium. Keep hearing Walter, who's the current UK champion. He's part of Imperium as well. Does not want to move to America. So going to be interested to see what they do with that route. But I was very surprised that Lucha House Party defeated them and moved on. And then we saw on the women's side, Casey Castanero, I'll get it right, and Kaden Carter, so we'll just say Casey and Kaden, defeated Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez, which very surprising to me in the women's side of things. We also saw Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae move on last night in 205 Live, so I was kind of interested to see a women's match on 205 Live. But I was hoping to find an updated bracket. We don't have that available, so in the Facebook page, as soon as I get an updated bracket, I'll post that, and we can kind of make more predictions as we go along. I believe I was calling for Legado de Fantasma to kind of take the thing, take the Dusty Rhodes Classic and probably take off those tag team titles. So that's where I'm going. Women's side, I think Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae probably are the best, best women to step forward and kind of win there. They can kind of build up the way, for Gargano and companies too. So other matches, Karrion Kross defeated everybody. Karrion Kross is getting that that NXT title sooner rather than later. I don't know if he'll get it at the next pay-per-view, which is NXT TakeOver on Valentine's Day. Obviously, we got to go with St. Valentine's Day Massacre as a name. But Karrion Kross is I think maybe I might wait till TakeOver Reformania, and then Karrion Kross can take the title. So I don't know. It'll probably be Pete Dunne and Finn Balor next month, February, and then obviously WrestleMania that weekend of. I would definitely have Karrion Kross take the title off, and hopefully he could stay healthy. It was like Finn back when he won the WWE title off against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 2016, I believe it was. And then Finn got hurt in that match, just like Karrion Kross did. So hopefully Karrion Kross can get a legit run after WrestleMania weekend and really build himself up. And along with Scarlett, who really talks for him and, kind of builds him up as well. So Bronson Reed defeated Tyler Rust. Bronson Reed, I'm really high on that guy. I think he's got a Bam Bam Bigelow feel about him, Vader type. He can go in the ring. The big men nowadays in WWE are ridiculously good and athletic. So it's not the usual punch, kick, and choke slam type. It's moving around the ring a lot better. So Bronson Reed, that's another guy I could see maybe in the North American title hunt sooner rather than later, and kind of see what he can do there. And then finally, Timothy Thatcher defeated Tommaso Ciampa in the fight pit. So now we're kind of having Thatcher built up as this fight pit king. So it will mean a lot more if somebody does defeat him in the fight pit at some point. Ciampa and Thatcher decided to team up as well in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So maybe that's the route that they're going to go. That could kind of be your underdog team. Obviously, they're not underdogs in a way, but, they just came in together and just let them run wild through the Dusty Rhodes Classic and, go at it. So I really love to see Ciampa make a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble as well. I would love for him to get I think he was on the main roster when they first brand split and all that, and the whatever incarnation that was. Him and Gargano were there for a little bit when they were feuding, but they teamed them up, and then Gargano got hurt, and then they took him off TV. So, I think Ciampa wants to stay in NXT. He wants to be a producer back there, age and whatever, and he's built for that. He's got a wrestling mind. He can do it. So, but I'd still like to see him do a small main roster run, just kind of, especially him and Randy Orton. I think him and Randy Orton would put on some matches. Him and Daniel Bryan, him and Drew McIntyre. I mean, there's plenty of guys that Ciampa could work with and just make magic with. So, and then finally, let's finish up with some SmackDown talk. Once again, SmackDown just proven how well that they can work at things. So, Asuka and Charlotte defeated the Riot Squad in a non-title match. I really wanted the Riot Squad to pick up the win here, especially with it being non-title. Billy Kay cost them the match. Unfortunately, Billy Kay looks to be out. I'm going to assume, like I said, I think Billy Kay somehow helps the Riot Squad win the tag team titles, and I think that would be fine and let them all three kind of have. I mean, it looks like they're enjoying it, so why not just roll with that? Cesaro defeated Dolph Ziggler. We had Daniel Bryan out there talking about winning the Royal Rumble. We had Cesaro talking up Daniel Bryan that he beat him last week, and then we had Ziggler come out, whatever, because it's an open challenge. So Ziggler's the guy that's just there, and we'll pick up wins here, or we'll just come out and face whoever. So, but Cesaro picking up some wins, Nakamura picking up wins, Daniel Bryan. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have some momentum for Royal Rumble right now, so it's kind of good. That's good to see. You want to see that. And then next up, we had Sasha Banks defeated Reginald. Really fun match. You could tell Sasha really wants to go at it with the man of WWE. I always mention my dream match would be her and Eddie Guerrero, or her and Rey Mysterio, or sorry, Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, that would be a dream match down, at some point. But it won't be here. But yeah, anyways. Big E defeated Apollo Crews because Sami Zayn come in and destroyed both of them. Sami Zayn was handcuffed and still has this film coming out. I can't wait to see what this film is all about, this conspiracy theory, if they ever do anything with that. Sami Zayn, Big E, Apollo Crews, all building up this IC title. I love it. That's, Daniel Bryan has talked it up before. It really feels like the IC title means something. And it's, it's always been used as that building block for the next step. And you can tell that they're really using it now for Big E. Like, Big E does not need the Royal Rumble win right now, but he does need to keep building up wins and, just keep building himself up. Bianca Belair defeated Bayley in the Ultimate Athlete Obstacle Course Challenge. So we had Bianca Belair have to lift up Otis. She had to go over hurdles. She hits a winning basket. And then Bayley takes the basketball and takes her out. By the way, that tracksuit that Bayley has, chalk line, I would love to have that. You need to reprint it, print up thousands, because that chalk suit is awesome. So, and then we also had Roman Reigns finally get, kind of beat up strongly by Kevin Owens. So we finally had some Kevin Owens building momentum. Obviously, Roman's going to win, but I think Adam Pearce is going to be the interesting factor in that. Does he help Roman Reigns win and just kind of side with Paul Heyman and kind of build up a heel? Because commissioners, authority figures, it does feel like they're better as heel guys, going against faces and kind of teaming up with heels. But Adam Pearce has played up the role well. And then, I could see him kind of, going that route just to do something different. He got a couple moves in here and there on Roman because it was supposed to be Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, or Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce in a fight. And Paul Heyman starts acting like he's injured instead of carb subject to change. And we get Roman Reigns out there fighting Adam Pearce, but that ended up a DQ because Kevin Owens comes out in a hood and starts taking out. And like I said, he really took Roman to the woodshed, as they say, as good old JR would say. And that's different. We haven't seen Roman really get beat up like that. No Jey Uso last night. And it, we had to see Roman get, taken out eventually. Even if Roman still keeps winning along, there's got to be those moments that Roman does look vulnerable. So I really like that Kevin Owens got the best of him last night. That's what I got as far as Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw and NXT. Let me know your own thoughts. What was good? What was bad in WWE this week? And next week we'll have our Royal Rumble predictions. I'm going to kind of give you maybe my final four on each side of things, who I want, to get a good run as it is. And, we'll just have a lot of fun with the Royal Rumble matches. And, of course, whatever matches are scheduled right now. Like we said, we got Roman and Kevin Owens for Last Man Standing for the Universal title. We got Drew McIntyre, Goldberg. I started to say Goldberg for the WWE title. Trying to think of what else. I don't think we have anything for Asuka yet, but we'll see what else matches are there. So thanks for having me. Thanks for being here. Super Kicking with Steven. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Roll of the tide, 43.